Hello, VC, the Waxed here. And in this video, we're going to do an unboxing of the band's 50th anniversary of the album Cahoots, a new box set just came out. And my friend here, Brad, was lucky enough to get a copy of it. And he's going to do an unboxing and give us his thoughts on the album. So, Brad, say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone. And thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
I have to apologize at the beginning because when I was so excited when I got this 50th anniversary box set, I actually unboxed it and played it right away before giving you guys the preview. But I kind of put the hype sticker. I do that with my.
Can you bring it closer to the camera?
Sure.
As close as you can bring it.
All right.
Closer.
How's that?
Closer more, closer still. Nice. 50th anniversary, super deluxe edition. Now,
right.
When did the original album come out?
The original album came out, I believe, in September of 1971. It was the band's fourth studio album.
Mm-hmm.
And it followed Music from Big Pink, the Brown Album, and Stage Fright, which in my mind were all perfect albums. And this one kind of at the time, both critically and sales-wise, kind of suffered from living in the shadow of those three previous records. However, I have to say, if this was my band and this album came out at any time, this would be the best thing I ever did. This album is really a very underrated, overlooked album. And what they've done with the 50th anniversary has truly made it revelatory. And I want to talk about that as I kind of unveil the whole thing.
Now, over time, has it always been looked at that, or it just kind of grew in admiration?
It's kind of always been. I mean, the band's literally most people will say their first two albums, but I think the third one, Stage Fright, was really an amazing album as well. But, and this basically came out in 71 and Music from Big Pink came out in 1968. So this is the fourth album in 3 years. They really don't start touring as the band until 1969. And then they're heavy duty on the road in 70 and 71. So this album was kind of made under completely different conditions than the previous three. They were, tired from the road. Substance abuse was really starting to appear in the group in a way that was affecting the work. In this particular album, they chose to record it at Albert Grossman, who was, not only was he Bob Dylan's manager, he was the band's manager. And Albert decided, he lived up in Woodstock, and he decided to create his own label, Bearsville, and his own studio. And while they were building the studio, Albert offered it to the band to record their new album. They really weren't even thinking about making a new album at this time. They were just kind of taking time off, and they had some road dates that they had to perform. But because of the nature of the opportunity, they started working at the studio. Sorry about that. Have to put that on. See, this is a real video.
It is. We'll make you a professional after.
Okay, thank you. Someday I'll be professional. Anyhow, so they recorded the album at Bearsville Studio B, which wasn't even finished yet. And inside the original Gatefold album, there's a picture of the band in an unfinished Studio A. So anyhow, they took the opportunity to work on stuff. Robbie had a couple of tunes.
Robbie Robertson,
the lead guitarist and the main songwriter of the group. And anyhow, they went in and they made this record. And, obviously, like I said, it wasn't, the critics didn't love it the way they'd loved the previous band's work. I think even if you'd ask Robbie, in the years past, he probably would say, we didn't get it quite right or whatever. And so what they did with this, and I'll go through it as I open it up, but as they've done with the three previous box set reissues of their repertoire, Bob Clearmountain remixed this album. And I have to say, I am not a fan of the, 21st century revisionist, let's go remix something. It's, to me, like, people made great records before, you don't need to redo them. But I have to say, in this rare case, for me at least, this remix of this album is amazing. And I saw Robbie do a Twitter thing on it, and I guess their whole take on doing this album was he went to Clearmountain and basically said, I never felt like we got this album right. So let's just start over as if like I'm handing you the tapes for the first time with 21st century technology, but like remix it like now, because this is what we have. And it is friggin' amazing. It sounds clearer, but more importantly, it just sounds more musical to me. And on, I think, at least 4 tracks that I could count in my, initial listening. I've listened to the whole thing 3 times now, but there are some really major differences. In Life is a Carnival, the track breaks down at the end where it just kind of goes a cappella with the group. And you hear Robbie's lead guitar is, to quote Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous script, it's incendiary. It truly is. When I listened to it, I was like, wow. Where Do We Go From Here is another track that breaks down kind of a cappella. And Shootout in Chinatown, which was the first track on side 2 of the original release, completely redid the intro. It still has those intro guitars, but I don't know what they did with the effects that they used, but it's completely different. And then one of the bonus tracks, Endless Highway, I believe has like a completely like a slide lead guitar that didn't appear on this when this appeared as a bonus track in 2000 on the Cahoots original reissue with bonus tracks. But let me start opening it and go through it. One thing that's different right off the bat is this beautiful cover that adorned the original release. What they've done is they just let it bleed all the way. The original release had like a white border that went around it with the album title at the top here. Here they've just let it bleed out, and I really think it's impressive and looks cooler. So that is that. Put this over here. The first thing that pops out is
now how does it come out of the box? Is it a?
It comes out like
so it's a lid. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lid, and it's not.
Can you show the back? Can you show the back of the box? There you go. Nice. So it comes with 2 CDs, a Blu-ray, and the LP, and a 7-inch. Now. Right. What is on, I would assume, on the first CD is the album.
The first CD is the album and a handful of bonus tracks.
Yeah.
The second CD is actually a show at the Olympia in Paris in 1971 that I believe was recorded for a television show or something like that I don't think ever aired. It's not the complete show, and they're kind of describing it as a bootleg type offering, but it's let me see, how many tracks is it? It's 11 tracks. It starts with W.S. Walcott Medicine Show, which was not the opening track during that tour, but it ends with the encore, Slippin' and Slidin', and then there's also 3 more bonus tracks after that on CD 2. The third CD is the Blu-ray version of it, and it's
for surround sound. It's an
correct.
Audio Blu-ray.
And there is the LP that's included with it. One thing that I am bummed about is on the very first 3 reissues to Big Pink and the band, the Brown Album, and Stage Fright, they also made available really cool colored vinyl that you could buy separately. I love colored vinyl. They didn't do that on this one, which kind of bummed me out because I was looking forward to that. But nonetheless, it's still on vinyl and it sounds fantastic. And then included as I'll show you in a moment, with the gatefold that includes the CDs, there's also a 7-inch of the one single from the album, which was Life as a Carnival. And I think they recreate, I'm not sure if it was, we'll take a look at it, but they recreate a foreign picture sleeve. So first thing that comes out is this booklet. And let's see, as you'll see, similar to the other booklets that adorn the other reissues, Rob Bowman, who's written frequently about the band, has written he's kind of revised some liner notes and added some new stuff. It's a real good read, especially on this period of the band, which there's not a lot written about. You can see here, there's like, what does it say? It's master tape archives. So each of these things here, you can see refers to each of the individual tracks in the album.
And this is a analog remaster. Well, you said they remixed the whole thing, but it's an analog mastering of the album, right?
Well, I actually don't know that. I assume that he did it with the digital technology.
Okay.
Again, this is a really cool picture that the first time I ever saw this picture was on a band bootleg of some gigs they did at Roosevelt City in New Jersey in November, or in like September of '73, or yeah, I think so. Anyhow, what else we got here? We've got more text. We've got this is one of the original reels, composite reel that has 3 of the tracks on it. What else do we have? Again, this is pretty cool. I love stuff like this in booklets. You know, original ads. This is an ad for a show the band played. Well, this is the big one. This is the ad for the show that they played at the Academy of Music in late December of '71, which was recorded and later came out in late '72 as the album Rock of Ages, which had a hit single on it, their cover of Don't Do It. And then Robbie, a few years ago, went in and did a complete Academy of Music box set, which is amazing. This is like a newspaper ad for the actual album. Here's a picture of the original single Life as a Carnival, and just various ads and stuff. So that's cool. I mean, if you're a band fan, it's all going to be cool, but I'm just telling you, this picture. So there's a great story behind this picture. It was taken by Richard Avedon, and it was used, it's originally the back cover of the original album. Why all their eyes are closed is apparently when Avedon was setting things up, he had a light fixture and it went off and it kind of like spooked the guys all at once. And Avedon saw that and saw that they had closed their eyes when the lights went on. So he asked them to do it just as posed picture, and he did, and that's what became the back cover. So that's kind of a cool story. Let's see, what else do we have? This picture, I think, is of the band in London circa 1971. And yeah, here we go. This is the 2-track of the band at the Olympia in Paris, the kind of what we're calling the bootleg show. It even says on here French bootleg, but I believe it was they talk about it in here in the text. Yeah, it was recorded by a French radio station and filmed by the French media, but I don't know that I've ever seen any of the video from that. So anyhow, all that remains is a 1/4-inch 2-track of the second half of the show. Here's some other pictures. This picture here I was talking to you about earlier is in the original gatefold. It's a picture of an unfinished Studio A at Bearsville, and you can see the band is here in the corner, and Barry Feinstein, the photographer, is set up over here to take pictures. And what else do we have? We have another picture. I think this was from the UK '71. and the same picture of them in the snow, and then then the credits. So that's the booklet. Really, the Rob Bowman liners are great. Here's how they've chosen to present the CDs and the 7-inch. It's like a gatefold album, but what you see is this is the Blu-ray disc up here.
Mm-hmm.
This is CD1, which is the remix of Cahoots and assorted bonus tracks. And then this is the French bootleg show with the additional, I think, 3 extra bonus tracks.
Can you hold it up a little higher? The whole thing?
Yeah.
Nice. And then
over here is
7-inch.
the 7-inch.
Yeah.
Which yeah, it looks like it's Japanese. So
do you want to pull the 7-inch out of the sleeve?
Sure.
And show the back side of the
back. There's nothing really.
Yeah.
Standard Capitol logo. I always do this because I do this. I replace the inner white sleeve that it came with one with a poly-lined sleeve.
Yeah.
That's just what I do.
And that's the error appropriate label.
It is, although to be honest with you, I don't know what. I guess that maybe might be the error appropriate logo in Japan.
Yeah.
The error appropriate logo for the U.S. would have been the red. Would have been a red target.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe that's just the way it came out in the UK or in Japan. Also, which was interesting, they included in this a lyric sheet to "Life Is a Carnival," which was the single, and the B-side, which is one of my favorite tracks in the album, called "The Moonstruck One." It's like a audio Francois Truffaut movie. It's a really wild track that's always been one of my favorite band songs, period. So anyhow, so that is the gatefold that contains all the CDs and the Blu-ray. And then, as is a custom in these packages they've been doing for the band, this comes kind of I guess like a special lithograph or lithographs. So what you have here is you have this. You have the aforementioned Band in the Snow photo. You have the aforementioned back cover and the original LP.
Oh,
they're all nice paper stock, and I mean, I suppose you could. It's frameable if that's what you want to do with it. I wouldn't do that. And then here, what they've done is the LP itself, and again, they've kept it up to the 2021 look.
Well, would you call that a tip-on jacket or?
It probably was during its time, but this is not a tip-on. I'd have to run into my storage unit to pull out the original, but this is the original way it looked.
Yeah.
On the gatefold LP. Again, that picture, Studio A, and then this was the red label that I was referring to.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyhow, so it's.
You want to try and hold that as close as you can to the camera? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your reflection is in it, but although it's not actually on the album.
You can never have too much of me reflected in an album.
And there's side 2.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Flat. Is that 180 gram vinyl?
I don't believe it is. Let me look. It doesn't feel like it. It would probably say so on the hype sticker.
Yeah.
And well, you know what? It is.
Yeah, there you go.
It is.
Not
that doesn't make much difference to me, but it does say 180 gram half speed master.
So where was it? Half speed? Was it done at Abbey Road?
Well, let's take a look on that. I wasn't prepared for that.
Come on, man. If you're coming on here,
I know.
You get the tough questions.
These are the tough questions. It's funny. It says surround a new stereo mix, Bob Clearmountain, mastering Adam Ayan. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that. Ayan at Gateway Mastering Studios, which I think is Clearmountain's.
Okay, so most likely half speed master.
Right. And And yeah, that's all the that information. I don't know
Okay.
where it was
Cool.
actually manufactured. So anyhow, well, thanks for giving me the shot doing it. This is really, I always felt this was like an album that was just really underrated because it sat in the shadows of three of the greatest albums ever made. But I really think if you've had this album before, it's definitely worth picking up this new mix. It's like a whole new album.
And what I'll
if you
do is I'll leave a link to like where you could get it.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
In the description of this video.
Yeah, it's a really special package and might be my favorite box set that the band has done in the last few years, just because of what they've done with this remix. I mean, I'm really enjoying this album, almost like hearing it for the first time. So,
well,
anyhow,
yeah,
for all those gift cards you got at the end for Christmas, pull them out for January and buy this. It's great.
Well, everyone's got gift cards and stuff. So, well, thanks, Brad. You know, other than the phone ringing, you did a really good job presenting that album. You know? Thanks,
Rob. Available at a record store near you, everybody. Happy New Year.
And until next time, Brad, thank you. The Waxed Out.